So I did a time-lapse video of the entire trip, 600 miles. I had some things highlighted. I had a broken water main spraying over the road. There was a fire at one point. There was a police chase. Godzilla, tidal waves, earthquakes. It was very exciting. But here's the thing. Dash cams have this cool feature called looping, where it will erase the oldest video and replace it with the newest. That way you can constantly get it. Yeah, you have to turn that feature on. Otherwise, it just fills up the card and quits working. Yeah, that was on me. Sorry. Alright, let me begin by saying I hate Texas. Just hate everything about it. The heat, the Cowboys, the arrogance on a state that's basically irrelevant, the Cowboys, the fact they stole another country's food and named it Tex-Mex, and the Cowboys. But why did we go to Texas? That's the important reason. You can blame a guy named Traveling Robert. Look him up on YouTube, or I'll provide a link for those too lazy to find it themselves. Traveling Robert has a traveling channel. That's weird. But it's about traveling around in an RV. Now the missus has always wanted a camper. So we've been, stumbled across Traveling Robert, and I've watched so much of him that if I just head into a Cuban accent, I'm sorry. It's not meant to be offensive. I just listened to this guy so much the last couple of weeks. Anyway, we were watching it, and I was telling a guy at work about it, and we started looking at RVs. And there was one in town there I was looking at, and he's like, yeah, that's a hard sell trying to get Wild to buy an RV or basically a toy. I said, oh yeah, watch this. Put the phone on speaker, called my wife, said, hey, there's a place here in town that sells RVs. I found one I really like. She immediately, get it. If you come home with one, I will not be upset. That will be great. I'll start packing. Co-worker's like, what? She's been wanting one for years. Do the whole camping. Her father's big on going to the state parks, things like that, camping. So, after weeks of research, we knew what we wanted. The style we wanted, everything. Now, keep in mind, I wanted small, intimate, kind of a 2 people, 1.5. She's like, nope, we're living in it. And it just kept getting bigger. I'm like, we got to do this before suddenly I'm pulling around just literally my house. So we're looking for them. The problem with the pandemic that's going on, people can't take vacations. People don't want to fly. So RV sales have really spiked. The number of calls I had with, we're out of that style, but we have some coming in August. Apparently, if you're a RV delivery man, you're going to make a killing in August. I talked to, I know 8 different, places in 8 different states. Every one of them were out of that kind, but we have some coming in August. Every one of them. We have some coming in August. That is the old check is in the mail. Actually, I used to drive a truck, and I delivered groceries to Walmart supercenters. I know I had probably 10 different Walmarts tell me we are the number 2 store in this district. Every one of them was the number 2 store. I think that's their motivation. Hey, you're close. Work a little harder. You can be number 1. Now, the same thing. I've worked at, probably a dozen hospitals over the years. This is the first one that I worked at where during the interview or during the hiring process, they did not tell me our pay, or we are in the upper middle pay range for this area. Every single one of them used that exact same phrase, upper middle pay range. I mean, that's just HR speak. But I digress. So every one of them had one coming in August. So you know what? Enough phone calls. Let's just go talk to people. We found around here, Little Rock, Hot Springs, they had a few. We're thinking, you know what? If we're going to go look, let's go someplace that has a large volume of RVs, or a lot of places. So our plan was to go from here to San Antonio, because you pass through several large cities on the way. Dallas, Waco, and a lot of those places had multiple stores. So we head out, and we leave 2 o'clock in the morning. By the time we're hitting just outside of Dallas, when we're getting into them, it's time for them to open. We go to a couple of them and finally end up in one in Mesquite, Texas. Which is funny because while I was driving a truck, I worked for a company for a couple of years. And I went to Mesquite probably 4 times a week. So it was kind of funny that I went literally just where we were at was, I could see the place I used to go to constantly. 300 miles away, and it was someplace I knew. Anyway, we get down there. All right, we're looking around, and they have a lot of the style we want, and then it was a matter of just picking the layout. Found one we like. All right, let's go. We were there when they opened the doors. I bet by the time we left, 6 hours later, mind you, I bet we saw them sell probably 8 RVs. I mean, it was just that's the going thing. Anyway, this is what we bought. Brought it home. So now we're camper people. I don't know how I feel about that, but that's what we are. So, I figured nothing else. It's, opportunity to go out traveling and do some droning at other places. Now, a couple notes. One, again, we were watching Traveling Robert, and he's got a theme song, man, that you just cannot get out of your head. Even my son, who's just, 17, so just critical about everything at this point, he can't stop singing the song. So anyway, I was telling my wife, I said, are you going to make fun of me if I narrate while driving like he does? She's like, no. As long as you don't use your high-pitched voice. What? I'm like, I didn't know I had a high-pitched voice. She said, yeah, when you get, I guess, excited or start talking fast, apparently I have a high pitch. So she said, you have to talk normal. This ain't my normal. But now I'm like really subconscious about it. Thanks. But there are a couple things I want to tell you about the trip down there and back. I may have lied about the Godzilla thing, but the rest of it's all true. Took my son with me, He literally slept the entire way down there and back. Well, I'll take it back. He didn't sleep the entire way. He woke up a couple times, made me feed him. But generally, that was it. He slept. We go to the place to buy it, and again, it took 6 hours to do it. At one point, we're like, okay, they're doing paperwork, they're getting it ready or something. We're like, we're going to go eat. We're literally taking a break from this purchase so we can go eat. But the entire time, he didn't want to go in the building because it was kind of a smallish building and there were a lot of people there. And you had to wear a mask the entire time. So he's like, I'm just going to stay out the truck. Yeah, for 6 hours. Bad part is, it was Texas heat in July. So he's out there just running air conditioner. Between that and pulling the trailer on the way home, yeah, I didn't get the best gas mileage. But there were a couple things I noticed. I have come to a conclusion. Oklahoma does not fix their highways. Remember the old story of the cobbler and the elves? For those that don't remember their childhood stories, and I don't remember it well, I just remember there was a cobbler. For you younger ones, a cobbler is someone who fixes shoes. Back before Nike paid a Chinese kid 3 cents a month to make shoes, people would buy a pair of shoes, something would wear out in it, they would get them replaced. And a cobbler, or not replaced, repaired. And a cobbler would be the one that repaired it. So anyway, the story was about a cobbler, a nice old gentle guy. And he was so burdened down with work that when he went to sleep at night, little elves would come in. Don't think Legolas. Think closer to gnomes. Or maybe fairy gnomes. Ooh, that's a cool thought. Fairy gnomes. Anyway, the elves would come in and work on the shoes for him at night. I'm convinced the Oklahoma Highway Department believes in highway elves. And they seem to think they're attracted to the color orange. Because they'll take a section of highway, drop you down from 65 to, 10 miles an hour, because they don't, apparently high speeds scare the elves, but they will line this section of highway with orange barrels, orange cones, orange signs, in the hopes that the highway elves will be attracted, show up, and fix it. So, speaking of the signs, they have some like, slow down, don't hit our worker, avoid a $10,000 fine. That's your incentive not to hit another human being with a vehicle? I can't afford to pay that fine, I'm not going to hit him. Really? Seems like you should say, hey, let's not kill someone. That should be the motivation. Oklahoma used to have some signs long ago, and it was a menu for speeding. I kid you not, this was back when they had the national 55 speed limit, and it would be like, okay, from 60 to 65, $50 fine. From 66 to 70, $80 fine. 71 to 75, $110. So you could go, how fast can I afford to go today? You know what? I pulled a little overtime last week. Let's go, honey. Who thought that was a good idea? So, not a fan of Oklahoma either, what can I say? They really do have some of the worst roads ever. And bringing a trailer back through there, first time pulling it, the weight balance not right. I may have to adjust my height on my ball. So, going down that road was fun. Anyway, so I basically said a lot to say. expect some RV drone videos. Increase the areas we're going. Speaking of drone, took it down there on this trip. Let's get some shots. And because of it taking so long, by this time, let's get home because it is rush hour. It was a Saturday, but still, it was busy, stop and go traffic. I took it. I did do one flight. Looking forward to it. Corrupted video. Could not get it to play. I'm assuming I'd taken that card out and I used it for something else. I'm thinking I need to reformat it. Lost that video. Lost the driving video. Video wise, it was not my top. Okay. So on the way back, we discussed, we got to name the trailer. I suggested Doc Holiday because we would take it on holidays. So the missus seemed to think I was confusing that trailer with the short bus I used to ride to school. She wanted to get me a helmet and talk to me in a nice soothing voice. I thought it was a perfectly good name. She is bitter. She suggested lovey-dovey. I suggested separate houses. We tossed around some more. Because it has a bird on it, I suggested Ladybird. She kind of, okay, that sounds good. That's the best one so far. But then I was up a good chunk of last night coming up with a decal I'm going to put on it. Alright. I'm naming it this. Roll that decal footage. Come on, that's awesome. Because it's a play on the word park, which we will be taking it to parks. Plus, Jurassic. Synonymous with old. I'm old. And Arkansas. Joan of Arc. It all flows. That's funny. Better be a comment below saying, alright, that's funny. That's going on the trailer. So, in conclusion, I know you're looking at your watch on finally. Expect some camping videos. Expect some trailer talk. So now, I found out I had to join AARP. And I don't know if they were just messing with me or not about that. So you have to join that. That's the association, American Association for Retired People. I'm not retired. And I don't think I'm old enough. But son and wife said I would. And she's like, oh, you get discounts on things like camping and food. I'm all about the discount, but I think they were just screwing with me. But if it gets discounts for, they're like, yeah, for camping on state parks and things like that, you discount if you again, I'm gonna check it out. I hope they ain't screwing with me. Although I really hope I ain't old enough to join something for the Association of Retired People. It's a mixed bag. Alright. Again, hopefully that'll get us out more in different areas to do the droning, to do the viewing, to do the videoing, to do the doing. I'll keep you updated. Ooh. Hey, it's like 4 deer standing there. Anyway, yeah, no, that's a side note. So I got the logo, which I guess will be incorporated into this playlist somehow. More importantly, my closing. I need to get a dinosaur roar. I don't have the sound effect yet. I'm feeling pretty confident, so I really hope that was inserted. Ooh, I should have done a make it look like. Oh, forget it. All right, next time.